What's up, everyone? So this post is inspired by a friend of mine who I'm going to leave anonymous just to respect this person's identity, but I don't think they would mind me sharing this. It's a good friend of mine, and if they do mind me sharing it, then I'll just take this down. But I like to talk about like real life experiences, and God knows that I have made so many mistakes, and so when I see these things happen in other people's lives, I'm really thankful to be able to be used by God to speak some truth in certain scenarios. Not that I'm anything, but I just want to share this because this is a real experience, and there are a lot of people who feel this way. So I have a friend. I have actually more than one friend who's going through some serious marital problems. And this particular friend, I was on the phone with the other night, and this person told me that this person was explaining their really bad marriage right now, this bad situation in their marriage, and then they told me about someone else that they had talked to, because I was telling them, I was like, you got to be in community, you got to seek out other Christians to talk to, like don't keep this all to yourself. And this person was like, yeah, I agree, and I've been talking to people, and anyways, this person said that someone told them, you don't deserve this. Referring to the way the spouse is treating them. You don't deserve this. You deserve someone who loves you. Now, that is an interesting concept. I want to repeat that real quick. You deserve someone who loves you. Is that true? That's a very harmless thought, and it's a very natural thought for a person who is not a Christian to think that way. I deserve someone who loves me. It's especially an American, I think. It goes right hand in hand with an American ideal system, is that, I have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Part of my pursuit of happiness is I deserve someone who loves me. I deserve to meet someone who loves me. And we say things like, there's someone out there for everyone, we say things like that. It's just kind of the normal culture to just think in those terms. I deserve this, I deserve that. Okay, well, relationships are a big one, okay? Lots of people can get depressed because of not having a relationship. Lots of people can place their hope way too heavily into just one relationship. Their identity is wrapped up in a relationship. I was that way. That's one of the reasons why I used to struggle with depression when I was a lot younger, okay? Because I didn't have the ideal relationship. And so, just that statement real quick, think about it from a Christian point of view. You deserve someone who loves you. Does that make sense? Is it true? Is it misleading? Okay, I'll give you a second to think about it, but you should probably know where I'm going with this. It's absolutely false. It is an absolute lie. You deserve someone who loves you. A Christian believes that they are dead. A Christian getting baptized is going under the water to symbolize death. So that means you might as well take a Glock and put it up against your head and pull the trigger, and you're gone. And everything you have is gone. And then you come out of the water and it's new life. But the new life is Christ in you, the hope of glory. And so really all you should be focused on is the kingdom of God. You shouldn't be focused on any of your own pursuits or selfish ambitions. That's all over. You're dead to those things. So I don't deserve anything. I'm not even thinking about what I want. Preferably, right? That's the ideal standard. I'm not supposed to be thinking about what I want anymore because I'm dead to myself as a Christian. Furthermore, the only thing Christians believe we deserve is hell. The only thing as a Christian I deserved is hell. Okay? Eternal death. The fact that I'm even living this life is a blessing. The fact that I have salvation is incredible mercy. I did not deserve any of that. I didn't deserve the opportunity to live. I didn't deserve Jesus dying for me. I didn't deserve him raising from the dead for me. And I don't deserve the opportunity to follow him. So if I only deserve going to hell and dying, then that means that everything I have, from life to relationships to jobs to physical health, all these things, these are all just blessings. And if those things don't go well, then I'm not out anything because I didn't deserve them in the first place. And we have to understand there's a difference of perspective here. So let's start now back with the other perspective. If I was really believing this, if I was just echoing this crap that people say all the time, you deserve better or you deserve someone who loves you. If I'm thinking that, if I believe that, and I'm going around living my life like that with that perspective, What is that going to do? For one, I'm completely deceived because I think that God owes me something, when in reality, God doesn't owe me jack. Okay, so that's number one. I'm completely deceived. Worse than that, I'm setting myself up for major disappointment because I think I deserve someone who loves me, and I can't find someone who's meeting all my criteria. It's going to be really hard, right? And depending on how selfish I really am, the more disappointed I can actually become as I don't find people who meet the standard of what I think loving me means. And so I'm gonna get disappointed constantly if I have a constant mindset of I deserve better. Okay? And then on top of that, if you have enough disappointment, what are you gonna start struggling with? Depression, right? Anxiety, hopelessness, not seeing the good out of life, never being thankful for what you have, always wanting more, never satisfied, an emptiness inside, and you wonder where God is and why he doesn't care, why he doesn't love you, right? Like, think about that. If we go to the Word, what group in the Bible had that same characteristic? And probably a lot, but I'm going to say Israel. Probably a lot of different people we could point to a lot of different examples in the Bible. But Israel specifically, when they were redeemed from Egypt, okay, when they were redeemed from Egypt, they were all praising God. They were seeing the wonder of God. They were seeing the miracles. They crossed through the Red Sea. It was amazing. I mean, that must have been amazing. And they got saved by grace through faith. Okay, kind of like a Christian. They got saved by grace through faith, by the blood of the Lamb. We remember the Spirit to kill all the firstborn. It passed over them under the blood on their doorpost. It's all symbolism, right? That's a prequel to Christianity. So they got saved by grace through faith, and then they're really happy that they have a hope ahead of them, the promised land, the hope of his calling, just like Christians have today. They had that hope, and so they had the testimony of what they've been through, the revelation of who God is, and then they enter into covenant with him, and ahead of them they have the promised land, and that's what they have to hope in, and that's what they have to strive after. And then they go into this desert, and it all falls apart. Why? Because they had that mindset. God doesn't love us. Why'd he bring us out here to die? We deserve better than this. Man, when we were back in Egypt, we had more food. We had better, we had water. We were more comfortable. We had meat to eat. And they always wanted more. And they were always saying, God must not love us. He must have just brought us out here to die. Okay, they had that perspective of, we deserve better. And God actually let them all die in the desert because of that. God considered that a complete breach of faith, a complete falling out of covenant with him. And he tried to answer them over and over again. He tried to say things like, I am the Lord who redeemed you. He always pointed back to what he did, not what they were going through at the moment. He pointed back to what he did. I loved you by this. This is how you know that I'm with you. This is how you know that I'm going to provide for you, because I redeemed you way back there, so I'm not going to let you die along the way. He didn't make their life comfortable for them, right? And he gave them things that they needed, and sometimes he even gave them things that they wanted so desperately, but he wanted more than that. He wanted them to get the point, to not have that air, to not have that pride, to trust him like little children, and to be thankful for what they had been delivered from originally and what they were headed to. And between those two things, what you've been delivered from and what you're headed for, that's supposed to be enough. Okay? And the desert shouldn't matter anymore. The desert's just temporary. You're supposed to be able to press on. Today, as a Christian, we are under the same thing. Our perspective should be not, oh, I deserve better, but instead should start with, I deserve death. I deserve nothing. I deserve no good things. It's a blessing that I have these good things. I'm thankful for all these good things. And if they don't go the way I want them to go, I'm totally fine with that, because my hope's not tied up in these things. My hope is in the kingdom of God. I've been redeemed. That's what establishes my hope. That's what proved to me that this is all real, because I have been redeemed. I have felt that. I have a testimony. Christians should have a testimony. Christians should have a reason for believing in God, more than just they were raised that way or people told them to believe. There should be more substance than that. And so for those of us who do have more substance, we need to remember that. Okay? We need to remember our testimony and why we believe, and then we need to remember the hope that's before us and be thankful for the things that we have along the way. And no matter how life is, no matter how bad it is, no matter what we're going through with relationships or physical health or jobs, if our job falls apart, no matter what is going on in those realms, it doesn't change our deliverance back there, and it doesn't change our hope ahead. And so it's not going to change the work of God that I have the privilege of doing along the way. Because I'm not supposed to be focused on myself. I'm supposed to be seeking the kingdom. And there's always somebody that's got it worse than me, so I should go find that type of person and speak life into them and encourage them, rather than feeling sorry for myself as a victim when the victor is supposed to live inside of me. Y'all be blessed.